We are live on the Miguel and Holly and the Hits 961 Facebook page for Queen City Confessions.
Anonymous secrets. I love it.
All right, I'm going to give you the kid warning for both of the confessions today. They deal with very adult issues. Here's the first one. My husband, or let me preface it, I'm a woman. My husband was having an online affair with a man. I've told a few of my friends about the affair, but I haven't told them that it was a man. He swears it was online only and that they never met in person, but there were phone calls and FaceTime calls. He wants to stay together and try to work it out. I've asked him if he's bisexual or gay, and he says no, he doesn't think so. He says he was curious and it was just a conversation. In fact, he didn't think it was cheating until I explained it.
This is so hard.
I want to handle this with very much sensitivity because this is your marriage, this is your life, this is everything.
Yeah.
I don't know your husband, but every situation that I've seen like this, he's probably gay or bisexual. Because I feel like if you go down that lane of talking, FaceTiming, engaging, and who knows if this was the first time.
Right. And what's different to me here is this is not sexual in nature necessarily. Right. This is like, because if there was no meetup and it wasn't, I'm curious actually, was it very sexual in nature or was it companionship? That's a question I have because you're having an affair. Okay. Is it emotional or is it like physical, even though it wasn't physical, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's got a lot to explore and he's saying he wants to be with you, which is fine, but like he has to deeply do some work to figure out where this is coming from and why.
Right. Because I feel like that's something that you explore before you enter into your marriage. But I know a lot of people who are gay who didn't think about it. Like they had inklings and feelings, but they never were able to process it. But then it wasn't until later in life, once they were married and had kids, and then they were like, oh, this is that little voice in the back of my mind. I'm actually gay or bisexual or pansexual or whatever. So that's why I think if you are willing to have an open dialogue and say, hey, let's not just shove this away. Let's explore it because it's going to pop back up another time if you don't have conversations and start to deal with it now.
Correct.
If you've been in this situation before and have some advice, text hits in your message to 96893. All right, here's the last confession. I think my best friend is trying to get with me. For years, people have told me that he's into me. I've always said that it's possible for a straight woman and a guy to be friends. Well, this week, he asked me to go to a naked Super Bowl party.
What?
I'm
sorry, what?
Yes.
You said yes?
My other friends think it's a way for him to try and ask me out. I haven't even been thinking about that. I'm just wondering if we're just sitting around eating chicken wings naked. It's a valid question.
Well, that is a valid question because there was like a Seinfeld episode one time about like a good naked and a bad naked, and I feel like that's a bad naked. Anyway, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're a little delusional here. Like, maybe you're in denial,
right?
And that's a really hard place to get out of because you don't want to see this because you don't want things to change. You don't want him to be attracted to you. You want to keep things the same. And so you're like, there's no problem that my best guy friend and I are going to a naked First of all, that's not a normal Super Bowl party. Second of all, that doesn't work. You need to see reality for what it is.
I just want to know what happens. If you go to this thing, I want details on Monday. So Sunday night, I'm going to need you to be texting hits. And what happened to 96893? Like whatever happens, I need to hear what happened.
All right. Much.
It is 7:32. We got our Hall of Fame blown off. Where are they now? And Holly, who are we checking in on for this Hall of Fame blown off?
Okay, so we're checking in on Seth and Brooklyn. We actually spoke to them June of last year. And it was an interesting one because they had a gardening date.
Oh.